Eating meat can sound really boring to people, so this video's purpose is to teach you how to enjoy the carnivore diet. Hey, what's shaking bacon? My name is Bruno Panucci. I hope you're doing well. So I've been doing the carnivore diet for almost a strict 3 years, and inconsistently for a few years before that, and a few years zero carb before that. So I have a lot of experience going on and off the carnivore diet. I've had a lot of weight loss on the carnivore diet and a lot of health benefits. Those are often reasons why people choose to do the carnivore diet. So when you ask yourself, why would someone limit themselves to only meat? Well, those are some of the more common reasons. Autoimmune disorders, I have some autoimmune disorders, and those tend to balance out when people go to an only meat diet, especially if they try a more strict version of the carnivore diet called the lion diet. That gets us into our first how. How can you enjoy the carnivore diet? Well, when your day-to-day quality of life is really good because your health issues have gone away, that's one of the best ways. That's your why as well, right? So we want to be able to enjoy your day-to-day life. And that right there will help people to make a good decision with their diet. And if going strict zero carb helps eliminate all your health problems, or the vast majority of them, or even just keep them under control to a manageable amount, you'll find that you're going to enjoy the rest of your life. So therefore, you will enjoy this way of eating, because eventually you'll be like, you know what? I don't care that I can't have cake, and I don't care that I can't have wine or ice cream or beer or whatever it is. You're just going to enjoy your day-to-day life so much. That's why you're going to enjoy the carnivore diet. That's my big reason. It restores health. Everything else comes afterwards. I still have about another 70 pounds to go or so. But more than anything, I enjoy my day-to-day health. I enjoy not feeling stiff all through the day in all my joints. I enjoy being able to have balanced and lots of energy all through the day. So one of the ways you can achieve this is finding a tribe. You're going to find that if you're doing a carnivore diet, it's really important to find an online tribe, people who are like-minded, people who will understand what you're going through, because friends and family who, let's face it, this is a pretty out there diet. They're not going to really understand what you're doing, and they're going to think it's kind of weird, but the proof is in the pudding. When they see your quality of life get better after a certain amount of time, whether they agree with it or not, they're going to start going, well, you know what? That seems to be working for them. And they'll have to acknowledge that eventually, especially when they can see that you're consistent with it. And eventually, it may inspire some of them to keep it up and do it themselves. But you can also find local carnivores. If you just do a Facebook group search and ask if there's any carnivores in your neighborhood or in your town, because lots of Facebook groups have communities for their own local cities. So if you just put it out there and ask how many carnivores are in town, you might find that there's more of you around than you realize, and you can start having little meetups here and there. Just someone to keep in touch with, someone to help encourage you. This is someone that you have something in common with, someone who has the same values as far as how they treat their body that you do. And maybe they're not on the same page exactly. Maybe they're a little more strict, maybe they're a little less strict, but you have that foundation and understanding in your day-to-day conversation that'll help you all get through this. So when you have a network, a social hub, whether it's online or in person, that's another way to enjoy your carnivore experience. I think the one thing that I find most enjoyable about carnivore is the simplicity of carnivore. I can go an entire day without eating. I can go 24 hours a day without eating. I can literally have one meal a day, so really more like 23 hours. I can do extended fasts if I want to. It doesn't really have too much of an effect on me psychologically. I don't sit there and obsess about food, because when you're fat adapted, you find you can go longer windows without food. Now, I'm not necessarily recommending you go 24 hours or what's known as OMAD, but you may find you only eat once or twice a day instead of 3 times a day. You're no longer thinking all about food and when you're going to have it and what you're going to have, because especially if you're giving into cravings and those are gone, what you'll notice is food is functional, but you still want to enjoy it. So at that point, the simplicity of the frequency of meals, and also not being obsessed and ruled by your food choices all day and having to give in to all your cravings, once that goes away, life becomes more simple and you enjoy life that little bit more. So you want to find out how to make your food taste better. And seasoning is something some carnivores do. Now, I know other people that won't eat anything past salt with their meat, and some people won't even do that. So we all need to respect each other's boundaries when it comes to that. But if you learn how to season your food, if you allow seasoning in your way of eating, then that's one way to make your dishes taste better. Learn new ways to cook your dishes. I like sous vide steak, for example. Sous vide meat is by far, for me, the best way to prepare food. It tastes the best, it's the juiciest, it's the easiest to prepare. I feel like a con artist when I eat this food because you're not really cooking it. It's so easy to prepare. You put the meat in a bag, you put the bag in a tub of water with a sous vide machine, you let it run for as many hours as you want to the exact temperature you want. Afterwards, you take it out. So when I'm done work at say 8 o'clock at night, all I have to do is come home, pat the meat dry after I take it out of the bag, and then I sear it. That's it. And my food's ready within 5 minutes. It's the greatest thing. No more, having to eat at 8:45 or 9 o'clock. It's just an easy way to live. So simplicity works, and finding a way that tastes good so that you really enjoy your meals works. Now, I'll typically make simplicity my big thing throughout the day. So I can live off burger patties all day long as an example, and I don't get really too tired of that. And for dinner, I can have different steaks or roasts or different types of food on a carnivore diet for the variety. I don't mind having the same thing all day, every day. I don't mind that, but some people, they really need that variety. Some people need to find new ways to cook the food. Sometimes you can roast it, sometimes you can barbecue it, sometimes you can sous vide it. There's lots of different ways to do it. So I make my own sausage. So I try and make about 100 pounds of sausage a year because I will go through that easily by the fall. It's a nice, really cheap meat. It's only, I think, about $2 a pound after you pay for everything, after you pay for the seasoning and the casing, and you get the shoulders on sale and you grind and prep it all. It really works out to be somewhere around $2 a pound. Where else can you eat $2 a pound of food that tastes phenomenal once you learn how to season it up? I made a video on it a long time ago, but you'll never really understand the recipe unless you've tried it. I can show you all the ingredients. You can put it all together, but yours might taste way different than mine because I know how it's supposed to taste. So after I season it up, I cook some and I take it and I'm like, needs more of this or that, because I know what I'm shooting for. When you're cooking your sausage, if that's something you plan on doing in January and you're getting your pork shoulder really cheap, it's an easy way to have food always on hand. I cook my sausage from frozen and I barbecue it. I personally find there's no better way to enjoy my homemade sausage when it's barbecued compared to, say, pan fried or just cooked in a sous vide machine or anything else. It's just not as good as when it's barbecued. Another thing to keep in mind is your fat to protein ratio. If your energy is off, sometimes it might not be that you're eating too little or too much. Maybe you're not getting enough fat or protein. So typically it's more of a fat issue than a protein issue. But you may find if your sleep is off or your energy is off, you can tweak that by messing around with your ratios, because now you're only down to 2 of your macronutrients. Now that you've cut carbohydrates out, you have to increase your fat. And I know some of you are going to have a rough time getting out of that mindset, but that's really the way it works. So finding your sweet spot with protein and fat really helps you to enjoy your day-to-day life as a carnivore. So these are just a few ways you can learn to enjoy your carnivore diet. Let me know what things you do to enjoy your carnivore diet. Please leave a comment in the section below. Thanks a lot and take care.